Welcome to EPG program in Japanese. Paper 5 Communication through Translation. Honyaku Tsuji no Communication. Module 25. Learn while practicing. We have done expressions and CPCI in last module and expression also in the last to last. So this is third in the series of expression. Jissenshi Nagara Gakshusuru Hyogen to CPCI. Will be dealing with CPCI a little bit more in detail. This module is developed with Devinit Soni, one of the trainees of ongoing translation training program of CSAR Nisker, and acknowledgement goes to Anu Kumari, Surabhi Lal and Saurabh Singh, again the trainees from the same course for data collection and the base work. In this module we'll be covering the application of CPCI theory and translation technique, same as what was done in the previous module, that is simplification through combination and permutation and looking through the prism of CPCI. Handling the expression in running text is, we are picking up another expression, that is ni Atari. The objectives remain same, that is the professional pursuit, and the outcome also is same, so we skip the objectives and outcome. These are the recapitulations from the previous module. Theory is relevant, but the actual process begins with the practice. This is not required to be repeated now. It should be all the translators or all those who are who want to learn the practice of who want to learn the techniques of translation should remember that it's the practice which is of prime importance. Empirical and statistical aspects are quite important. This should be kept in mind. CPCI acts as a tool in selection of appropriate equivalents. Core remains the core for understanding, and CPCI helps in thinking beyond the core. Free use deepens the knowledge of source language as well as target language. CPCI theory can be applied at word, unit, clause, sentence levels in different domains. Wider application in teaching of language and translation is possible. Similar to ni taisuru, taisho to naru also expresses the action between the two nouns while specifying scope of the target as B succeeding noun for A, which is the preceding noun. These are the two expressions which were done in the previous two modules. Now we go to the next expression, but before going to that, if we recall that in module 23 we have done ni taisuru, and when regarding this ni taisuru, at least learners had some perceptions, but when we checked at random with few students about ni Atari, it was found that they are not able to explain, even their perceptions were not so clearly definable. So let's learn something more about ni Atari, and the mechanism remains the same. Let's see some examples of ni Atari. This is the first example, and we are beginning with ni Atari straight away. Okay, the possible this is what the students normally do. So you pick up ni Atari and look for the equivalent. The equivalents you'll find is on, at the time, or while. Now you have all these three in your mind, and if we see the comment, ni Atari is something like A plus ni Atari, and in most cases equivalent for ni Atari will be decided by the preceding variable, that is A. So I'm asking a student, he has something in his mind and that something is on, at the time, or while, and when I say, okay, how do you come to this on, at the time, or while, and straight away answer comes, this is decided by the preceding variable, that is A. Now I'm not saying that this is wrong or right. Let's see further. Let's see some examples. Watashi no ryugaku ni atari chichi wa jibun no keike no hanashite kureta. So chichi wa jibun no keike no hanashite kureta means my father told me about his own experience, and watashi no ryugaku ni atari is something, when we were talking about my ryugaku, when it happened. So in this particular case, the context was probably, there was something in the context, and the translation comes on the occasion of my study abroad for this particular part. So here this on the occasion, this particular ni Atari equivalent is coming from the preceding noun, that is ryugaku. And the next example is shosetsuka ni shosetsuka wa jidai shosetsu o kaku ni atari. So kaku ni atari, sono jidai no rekishi o kuwashiku shirabeta. So Kwashkushirabeta is fine. He did a study, a deep study. Rekshio Kwashkushirabeta means history was studied in detail or in depth. Jidai no, Sono Jidai no of that particular age. So this is clear. And if you go to the previous one, O Khakuni Atari. So something O Khakuni Atari. So while writing a historical novel, the novelist did an in-depth survey of the history of the period he dealt with. Translation is quite understandable. Now here this while which is used here is actually coming from the preceding verb khaku. So how it is derived? It is derived because of khaku. So Niyatari clause can be treated separately. That has come out very clearly in these two examples. Let's see the example 1, Niyatari, and we are applying 5W1H technique on the translation. Hon hatsume ho ho jishisuru Niyatari. The next is faded. So Hannova ippantekina kiso shokubai hanno no keshiki de okonaware. Kote sho keshiki demo and ryudo sho keshiki demo yoi. So A keshiki demo, B keshiki demo yoi. This part is faded. We'll take it up separately. Take the Niyatari clause first. Hon hatsume ho ho jishisuru Niyatari. Okay. The first question is nani o. So hon hatsume ho ho o. The method of this invention. Dosuru is jishisuru. So hon hatsume ho ho o jishisuru, and sorede hon hatsume ho ho jishisuru ni atari. So here it comes clearly while implementing the method of this invention. And now this is the main clause. So now we go to the application of 5W1H on the remaining part, that is nani ga okonawareru, hanno ga okonawareru. In this case hanno wa okonawareru, so that's fine because reaction is conducted. Donna keshiki de ippantekina kiso shokubai hanno no keshiki de. And the translation is in usual gas phase catalytic contact reaction form. Soshite, then kote sho keshiki demo, ryudo sho keshiki demo yoi. That means okay with both. That is, both fixed bed and fluid bed are okay or can be used. Can be used is of course coming from the context. So we have seen here that Niyatari clause can be treated as a topic clause, and 5W1H is one technique which can be applied directly on Niyatari clause also. This is the translation. At the time of performing the invention method, the reaction is conducted in usual gas phase catalytic contact reaction form, and both fixed bed and fluidized bed can be used. The can be used I have explained, and I have just touched upon this in the previous slide, that can be used is not there in the original. It's demo yoi. Demo yoi simply leaves it. This and this both are okay, and it's coming, can be used is coming from the core, from the context for this clause only. At the time has been changed to while in the final translation. And if you see at the time and while, at the time refers to a particular point of time, whereas while refers to a duration. And now from the context you have to find out whether you are referring to a particular point or you are referring to the duration. If it is duration, then it is while, and if it is point of time, then it can be at the time. And this comes contextually from the CPCI concept. Let's see the example 2. It's Kogyo Danchi no, let me read only the first part first. The Kogyo Danchi no Seibi ni Atari, and Seibi is a word which is difficult to translate. It can mean providing, maintaining, etc. So in this particular case, Kogyo Danchi no Seibi, that means you are probably clearing the land, making the basic amenities available there so that the land becomes usable for the purpose for which you are going to use this particular land finally. So Kogyo Danchi no Seibi ni Atari, if we take as the maybe the first clause or maybe the main clause, the first question could be nani ni Atari. So it's Seibi ni Atari, for providing for is Seibi actually, then what, none no sebi, so it is kogyo danchi no. That is, it is for providing for industrial complex. And industrial complex also I would like to touch upon is actually not direct, it's difficult to translate kogyo danchi as industrial complex. First is kogyo, can it be industry or industrial? This is one issue. So industrial of course is a peripheral or contextual use rather, I should say. And danchi is one word which has got many equivalents, but depending upon the final utilization of that space which comes in a group or is used in a group, the meaning will differ. So it can be industrial park, it could be industrial complex, it could be industrial town. So if it is industrial town, the focus is going on the town. If it is industrial park, you are giving it a sense of park. That means it's livable type of, enjoyable type of facility. And industrial complex means it has got many things into it and you can't define, so it is industrial complex. Now depending upon the final concept that this particular kogyo danchi represents, its equivalent will vary. Now let's go for the remaining part, putting questions for the remaining part. Nan to nattemas ka, and it is sai yusen to nattemas. So is the top priority, and naniga, so it is tochi no me kakuna jimoku kose oyobi kotsu infra to gijitsu infra no kambiga. So it's kambiga means completion of something, and rest is quite clear, the clear land category, composition of the land, as well as the completion of the transport infrastructure and technical infrastructure. And the combination of the two comes as follows. It's just joining only, and that's what comes here. Ni Atari is translated as for providing for industrial complex. Now if I put while providing for industrial complex, the clear land category, composition of the land, as well as the completion of the transport infrastructure and technical infrastructure are the top priority. Obviously while is much better, and for means no tameni or for the sake of, whereas while is very much ni Atari, while doing so it's referring to a particular period. I think this has been touched upon already. It's basically ni Atari clause, that is kogyo danchi no sebi ni Atari. If you look at it from the point of view, for example, kogyo danchi no sebi wa, it's a broader concept, and ni Atari is a smaller concept within this particular scope. This is the third example. So example I am skipping, but there are some words which are long and can be substituted. That will help. So those have been done in pink here, and this will help in simplification of the sentence. This is how you can see the 3.5 line has changed to 2.5 line. So that simplicity, that simplification does help. And this ABCD we can take it separately. This was done earlier, so I am not repeating it in detail. But A is cyclic ether and ammonia, or primary amine, so it's primarily the nouns. Similarly, the second one is also a cyclic alkali amines, again a noun. And the third one, can you read the English part?
Some total of partial pressures of reaction materials and reaction products.
We are not touching upon, there is this clause can be translated, can be taken up separately, but since this has been done in one of the earlier modules, so we skip this explanation of this. Now we have the equivalents for all the three here, ABC. These equivalents can be used at a later stage. We are into example 3, and this is a simplified sentence where ABC are the simplified portions. Now let's go for 5W1H. Nani o suru, sonsuru. Sonsuru we'll have to see in the context. It means in this case lies, and this is the main verb. Nani ga or nani wa, then it is hon hatsume no yoshiwa. So in other words is of course nawachi. Then in other words, the main feature of this invention. So wa makes it a topic. This is the macro frame. In other words, the main frame, the main feature of this invention lies in something. Let's see the remaining part now. Let's go for 5W1H. Nanini sonsuru. So it is kanjo arkiren imin ruino seizo honi sonsuru. So process of manufacturing cyclic alkaline imines. So it lies in the process of. The second question is nani o tokchoto suru. Hanno o c, that was the replaceable, thus variable, that is hanno o c de 0.5 kg per centimeter square g ijo no katsu de okonau koto. So okonau koto o tokchoto suru. So wherein we have done this tokchoto suru earlier, so that's the equivalent, wherein reaction is carried out under the pressure of the number, that is 0.5 kilogram per centimeter square g or above at c. Then the next question could be itsu and bo seizo suru ni atari, that means while manufacturing b. And the last question is soreva dono yoni and eto o kotai shokubai or kotai san shokubai no sonzai kani kisode hanno sasete. So hanno sasete is made to react, kisode in the gaseous phase, sonzai kani is under the presence of this catalyst. So the translation is A is made to react in the presence of solid acid catalyst in a gaseous phase. This is, let's join these equivalents now, and this is what comes. In other words, the main feature of the present invention lie, there should be lies or no, yeah, main features, so it's fine, lie in the process of carrying out the reaction is carried out, some connectivity is required, the reaction is carried out under the pressure of 0.5 kg per centimeter square g or above, which is C, while manufacturing B, wherein A are made to react in the presence of solid acid catalyst in gaseous phase. Not making a very good flow, but to do that, let's put back all the dropped elements, and now it makes some sense. In this case, ni atari comes with verb, and the verb hints the equivalent. Now let's see the CPCI behavior for ni atari. This is the example, and let me read out the example. Hon hatsume ho ho jishisu ni atari. You have seen this earlier. Hanno wa ippante na kiso shokubai hanno no keishiki de okonaware kote sho keishiki demo and yudo sho keishiki demo yoi. So we had translated this as while in place of at the time of, while implementing the method of this. Now this while is coming from the context, and that context in this particular case is actually jishisuru. So jishisuru ni atari, it's the jishisuru that is determining the equivalent for ni atari. So here verb plus ni atari explains the continuation of the process. Verb, what is happening with that verb in the sequence in the next part. Let's see the other example. Kogyo danchi no seibi ni atari tochi no meikaku na jimokose oyobi kotsu infra to gijutsu infra no kanbi ga saiyusen to nattemasu. Saiyusen to nattemasu is fine, that's its top priority. So while providing for industrial complex, while providing for industrial complex or while providing the industrial complex, both could be fine. So while providing for industrial complex gives a sense that whatever is required for the complex, that is being provided, and while providing industrial complex means tekyo suru, so providing. So while providing for is closer to ni atari, so it is coming as contextual because of seibi. So here, as given in the comment, while is coming from seibi, and though seibi is not used as a verb here, it does not refer to a certain point of time, because if we say maintenance of or providing something, it does not refer to by itself a certain point of time. This is a big example, so I would skip the reading of the example. Let me just see. Ni atari here is coming. Where is ni Atari? Suru ni Atari. So somewhere in the middle, if you see the kanjo arkirin imin rui o seizo suru ni Atari hanno o hanno gendyo to hanno seise butsuno kakubu atsuno mono. So it's seizo suru ni Atari. And in this particular case, its translation is, if we go somewhere in the middle, you will find the sum total of partial pressures of reaction materials and reaction products while manufacturing cyclic alkaline imines, wherein, so it's coming while, and as I said earlier in the previous slide also, this is coming from the previous component, and in this case previous component is a verb, seizo suru ni Atari. So it's contextual, coming from seizo suru. So if we sum it up, what we have seen in these particular examples, when ni Atari comes with a verb or a noun, the focus for ni Atari goes on to that particular noun or the verb which is preceded here. Fine, that's all about what we want to talk about ni Atari here, but let me sum up the learning. Ni Atari comes from ni Ataru, that's the main verb, and ni Atari, as I often talk in my translation classes, is ni Atari is the must base of verb ni Ataru. So the core, we have to look for the core meaning of Ataru, which is, Ataru is a ball coming and touching here is Ataru. So it touches with a force, so you can say it has hit, otherwise it's Ataru by itself is touch. So that is the core equivalent for the Ataru, and the peripheral meanings could be hit, contact, strike, etc. Core meaning of expression would be touching. That means touching upon, for example, it was seizo suru ni Atari. So touching upon the manufacturing could be the core meaning, but the core meaning does not give a good readability. Therefore, we have to go for the context, what you are manufacturing, and normally it is fine that while manufacturing suits much better. So instead of saying touching upon, while is used for the ni Atari expression more often. So it, if we put ni Atari clause as the main or the topic clause wherever ni Atari is coming, suppose there are 3 clauses in a sentence and the first clause has something ni Atari, then this clause can be treated as the main clause or the topic clause. It helps in the flow of the translation. And once again, it has been noticed that 5W1H has served the purpose of understanding or comprehending the text. So this means 5W1H can play a key role when the context is complex. And we did touch upon 2 equivalents for ni Atari in the examples, that was at the time of and while. I would like to say here both can be used for ni Atari. Out of these 2, at the time refers to a certain point of time, whereas while refers to a duration and is contextually used, and this is with reference to the CPCI. And ni Atari can have verb or noun preceding it. In that case, the focus of ni Atari goes on this particular preceding verb or the noun. That's all in this module. These are the references, and thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu. See you again with few more examples in module 26.